Hi, Mark Tilley from Dirtbike Magazine. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're getting our first chance to ride the 2026 Yamaha YZ450. This bike, under wraps, is all brand new. It's not getting the attention that it might deserve, but we have Mike Ulrich from Yamaha to tell us all about it.
Hey guys, this is Mike Ulrich from Yamaha. We're going to go over some of the changes to the new 2026 YZ450F. Now, even though this bike doesn't look a whole lot different than the 2025, there are a lot of changes that make this an almost all new bike from top to bottom. Starting off, we really decreased the sound, making this bike 109 decibel compliant. Ways we did that was modifying the airbox as well as the exhaust. We made the power character more manageable and easier to use, yet still retain the overall power that the YZ450 is known for. A few ways we did that was changing the intake port design as well as cam timing. We also made several changes to the clutch, namely adding a hydraulic clutch as standard. We made internal changes to improve the feel and durability as well. Major updates were also made to the main frame to provide a more precise steering feel, give the bike a more solid feeling, yet make it more compliant through the rough. Also, engine mounts have been redesigned to tie the whole package together. On the suspension side, we're continuing with Yamaha's legendary SSS front forks, and we're adding a brand new rear shock. The shock body's brand new, uses bigger pistons that are directly derived from our factory race teams. Internal settings, both front and rear, have been adjusted to match the new frame changes, and now the rear shock has a tools-free compression adjuster just like the forks have. So you can make quick adjustments trackside without having to stop to get tools. Bodywork-wise, we wanted to keep the slim and sleek feel of the previous YZ450F with some changes to the side number plates to make them easier to work on, as well as a new seat cover material. We made changes to the number plates to make them easier to take on and off. Finally, we're still offering our Yamaha Power Tuner app, which allows you to fine-tune the power to your liking and your riding style. The Power Tuner app has too many features to name off here, but you can get it for free at either the Apple Store or the Android market. And one new feature for 2026, it allows you to lock your bike for theft deterrence. Okay, so that's all the information we have right now. Mark Tilley's gonna hop on the bike, do some testing, and then tell us what he thinks.
So we just finished our first day of testing on the 2026 Yamaha YZ450. And like I said in the intro, this bike has kind of flown underneath the radar. Before I got to actually ride the motorcycle, I didn't realize there was this many changes on the bike. The bike feels to me almost the complete opposite to me of how the bike handled before. I mean, this bike is still fast. It's more power than I would need, more power than the average person I think needs. We did get a chance to ride a full GYTR bike that had a different airbox that doesn't have the resonator chamber in it. It was definitely louder. Didn't like that side of it, but man, the performance is right back there. In stock form, I like the performance of the 2026 model. I did do some mapping changes. Travis Preston has come up with a map that was kind of designed to get that spunk back in the power band. I felt like with Travis's map, kind of had my finger on the clutch all the time, waiting for that bike to come up so I can kind of keep it down. In stock form, I like the standard map. They went up a lot in the rear sprocket. They went from a 49 to a 51. One of the things that we're gonna try later on is maybe going back down to a 49 or maybe even a 50. They did it to where they wanted to be able to use third gear a little bit more. I could do that, but I just couldn't do it with the confidence that I wanted. And then handling wise on the motorcycle, where I was saying that it feels like the complete opposite of last year's motorcycle. Last year's motorcycle, I could ride kind of conservatively, but when I would start to push it and start to push the front end, I like to settle my front end into stuff. I don't like my front end bouncing around, and I never got that, you know, happy feeling with the 2025 model and the previous models. The 2026 model is the opposite. When I'm just riding it around slow, I feel like that front end is a little bit rigid, kind of bounces around. But the harder I push that front end into corners or the harder I'm charging, it seems like the more planted it gets. I mean, naturally there is going to be a threshold. Fortunately, I haven't found that threshold yet. And the front end is a lot more confidence inspiring. Definitely want to take it to some other tracks, see if that holds true everywhere else. Overall, first impression of the Yamaha YZ450, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction for guys that kind of have my riding style. And I think that if you're a Yamaha guy, you're gonna be happy with the changes that they made across the board, made some really good changes and made this bike better. I know that I don't have to ride it with earplugs in anymore, which I really, really like. We're gonna do a lot more testing on this motorcycle. It will go into a shootout with about 18 million other 450s that are offered now. We got Ducatis and Triumphs, and we'll have a big shootout, you know, later on this year, and be able to let you know which one we think comes out on top. If you got a little bit more time on your hands, hit those video thumbnails now, and don't forget to subscribe to Dirtbike Magazine's YouTube channel, because you get an email alert every time we come out with new stuff. As always, head over to dirtbikemagazine.com for the latest off-road and moto industry news.